Okay, I'm working on a 6L80 transmission, or 6L90. We're having a third gear, fifth gear, and reverse problem. We have about a 4-second delay in reverse. And I found the problem. This part here, this whole part, is leaking around the weld point. See when I air check it. Right here, you can see fluid coming up right around that weld point. I don't know if you can see that. Looking right here. See how fluid's coming out of there when I air check it? This drum's cracked. There's an updated one. Really, when you buy at the transmission parts supplier, it looks like they just put a better weld on it. So this one can be fixed, but it's easier just to buy one. It's already done. So what I'm going to do is swap everything over, because this has just been recently built. And this is how I do it when you take them apart, flip them over to where, like this right here, always flip it over to the opposite side, like that. So when you put it back together, all you got to do is grab the one like there, put it right there, just like that. That easy. So, at this side, we're going to take all these out. We're going to take the piston and the outer piston out, and we're going to swap it into the new drum. Alright, I'm going to put all this back together. I got all the pistons inside the new drum. This is the new one. It's got the updated weld right here. So, start one by one. See how I got everything laid down? So start putting them in. And put everything the same direction. These notches have to line up on the hull of these so that this piece right here can fit. See, if you lay them down like I did, you really don't have to think. You just put them in there. This snap ring right here only goes one way. There's a little notch. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a notch right here. This is where you got to put both ends of the snap ring. Otherwise, the snap ring won't go in the groove. There we go. See right there. There's not a groove for the snap ring, so you got to make both ends go there. Now, see, put this part in the grooves. That. Yeah. Oh. The pressure plate I just put on didn't line up with all the steel. That's why that piece wasn't fitting. You gotta line them all up. It's easy to make a mistake. Find the groove. Where is it? Right there. Wavy plate goes next. Steel. So let's count our steels because I got new stuff. Put this upside down to make it easy for you. So we got 1, 2, 3. We got 5 steels and we got 5 clutches. Got that. We can go ahead and take these out. Put that on the pressure plate, upside down like that, because these are a little warm. These got a little hot. Set these to the side. So now we're dealing with clutches. And with that, just put them in. And I already measured the steels. They're the right thickness. It's always a good idea to measure them. And your clutches. Did that before the video. And this one, match up the groove too. Make sure your snap ring's seated. I always like to flip it over and check my clearance like that. That's good. Okay, now we're going to air check this again. And the first clutches to go in here, these are your 3, 5, and reverse clutches right here, under this first snap ring. The second one, that's your other 4 gears. I think it's 2, 4, 5, 6. I'd have to look it up, but it controls a lot of them. Okay, right here. Can't remember which one it is. This one here. So everything air checked beautifully. No more leaking around this weld. And you got to remember, there is a little pinhole right here that will leak. This is your overflow hole, so it doesn't overpressure the clutches and break something. So it's got to have a little relief valve there. That's what that little pin is. But other than that, no more leaking. I got extra tight seals here. These are updated Transgo shift kit seals. They hold a lot better, they'll last a lot longer, and they're made of better material that expands and seals better than the original plastic ones. These are the plastic ones right here. These work good. If this is all you got, that's fine. These all come in a basic rebuild kit. But if you're going to do a Transgo shift kit, I really highly recommend that with a heavy duty torque converter. These transmissions don't have good torque converters, and getting a good heavy duty one is the life of the transmission. Okay, so now I'm going to put everything back together, and I'll move the camera so you can see me stack what I got out. So, anything else? Everything I do is flipped over. Snap ring obviously goes on top. Right there. So you just go so like that. And this has already been built, like I said. And whoever built this bought a kit for a 6L80, and there's one extra clutch and a banner kit, and so they had to reuse one clutch. And there's nothing wrong with it. I would replace it if I had another one here, but you can tell it's original. Here. Sometimes I like to use the green lube. I only use the green sometimes if I want something to just stay in one place. It's really thick assembly lube. If I don't want a bearing to move, do that right there. Just like this. See that right there? Just flip it back over. Just like that. Very easy. So anytime you take it out, let's say you take the snap ring out and you pull this, flip it over, set it to the side, leave it like that. I'll show you later. But you got to make sure this lines up with that, just at the bottom of the transmission, so that this lines up here. So you just know this goes to the bottom. It's that simple. So this goes next. All right. Trying to do it the best I can there with you. I want to see if I can get it closer. All right, so you can see what I'm doing here. So I like to grab it like this and just go straight down and make sure those holes line up at the bottom. Straight down. It's not always going to go all the way down that easy, so I kind of put a little bit of pressure and just tap it gently with the hammer. It's going down. There you go. There we go. So it hit. And then turn the bottom. And the holes are lined up in the bottom. These holes that I was telling you that goes in the bottom right under the valve body right here, they go right there. They're all lined up perfect. So now that that's in, let's put the snap ring in. And the snap ring, I laid it down just perfect. Flip it back over, that's how it goes. You want the beveled to go up. And I got a special tool for that. This tool right here. It's a monster. It works perfect. Goes in that groove. And I pull just to seat it, and voila. That easy. Now put that back. And every time you put that snap ring in, go to the bottom and turn the output shaft. Make sure it turns. A lot of times if it's tight after you put that in, you ain't got something stacked right. So if it turns freely, you're good. Try to line up the clutches as best you can, like that. So in order to stack this one here, it's really not that easy. So here's what I do. Go ahead and put this together like this. Flip it over and put it in a hole somewhere. And a lot of builders have holes in the tables. I hate putting a hole in the table. Okay, you gotta do it like this. Let's go ahead and get this thing seated in there good. That goes there. Okay. This is how I like to do it. Other builders might not like this, but this is how I like it. And I'll show you what I do. Make sure that's in there good, nice and flat. Okay. And just be careful. Make sure everything keeps spline in there. And now you only got to worry about splining one thing. There you go. And it's in. Clearance. It's all the way in. What's wrong with the other oven?
There? There's nothing wrong with it. But the house will get so hot.
Always make sure you're tightening these. Always make sure you can turn the input shaft before you tighten all your bolts. That's good. Don't forget to put this in. This right here. It doesn't matter which way. Just like that. Make sure it's in there. And then when you put the valve body on, make sure this lines up. That lines up there. Good. And it's a good idea to take this off too. I didn't on this one. It's kind of in a hurry. But, and also remember this. Don't ever forget that part. Alright. Back on there. These are weird heads. You can use an 8mm. You might have to pound it on a little bit. Not too hard. You break the plastic right here. You pound too hard. But it's an 8mm, works fine. This right here, go ahead and take that off. Just put tension on it. I want it straight before I bolt it down. And always tighten them by hand. You can run them in with a gun, tighten them by hand. The valve bodies. Always done it by hand. Always make sure this one's tight enough. A lot of times, even after I build them, I find them a nuisance. double check the bolts just to make sure they're tight. There's not a lot of bolts that are on this valve body. So I want to make sure they're tight. I'll put this back on there. Straight, this rooster come. Now you gotta put this plug back in there before you push this down. Leave it up. So you put some lube right here. Make sure it's all the way in, and it only goes in one way. There's a little notch right there. And as you're going in with it, you'll feel where it is. It goes to a stop. Press it in. It's in there. Wipe this off there. Now we gotta put the filter in. I got a new filter. Filter comes with this. You don't have to put it on, it's already got a new one, so I'm gonna leave it off. It's always a good idea to put lube before you put it in there, so it goes in there nice and easy. Boom. Always do that. About 5 taps, 6 taps, make sure it's in there. Good there. Magnet up, a little bit of braking wear. Like I said, I didn't build this. Someone else did, and I just had to fix the mistake. I did put my name on there, Tiger Transmissions, and TT. Put that on everything I work on, whether it's a build or a fix. And you cannot forget to put your lockup O-ring back on there. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now before I forget. O-ring that goes right there. It'll throw a lockup code, and it won't go into lockup. Put that in there. Put a little lube. Fine. It really makes it easy having a bench with a hanger on it. You can put it on any bench. It doesn't have to just be a building bench. And if you want to buy this one here, send me a message. I highly recommend it. I can show you after I put these bolts in. I can sit on this thing. That's how strong it is. I'm only doing this because I know my gun, okay? If you don't trust yourself, definitely hand tighten it. And I'll still go back over it just to make sure they're torqued right. I do it like this so I don't over tighten them. I don't grab the hole like this. Just kind of grab it like this. Just to make sure. Kind of like torque checking in. You don't need a torque wrench. I guess if you are starting off and you really don't know much about how to tighten stuff, look up the specs and torque it and get a torque wrench. But if you've been mechanicking for a couple years, you don't need a torque wrench. See this thing? Put all my weight on there. Very, very strong.